Hi everyone, this is Courtney from Ruby Red Farm. Today's video is going to take you through how we got ready for these little guys. All right, I put that little fluff ball back with her friends under the warm brooder lights. So we've obviously had some very big changes on the farm this week. We got our first laying hens of the year. We actually ended up really going in big this time and got a mixture of 250 different laying hens. Now, in all likelihood, we always end up with a few friends that end up needing some birds here and there. So I suspect we'll probably end up selling or giving a few of those away. But our big idea here is we're trying to get more chickens so that we can better meet our customers' needs. Now, we had to do quite a bit of work this week to get ready for these little fluff balls. This video is going to take you through the process of getting these brooders ready and why we have a noisy garage all over again this year. As usual, thanks so much for watching, guys. Please make sure to hit like and subscribe. We're going to dive right into the process of welcoming these little cuties to the farm. So in all honesty, we had actually hoped to move our brooding operations out to our barn this year. We have a really big project going on out there that is so close to being done, but until we run power out there, we simply can't raise chicks. So in the meantime, we are stuck still in here in the garage. Not a big deal. We have everything set up. I just need to get it all prepped and ready for this year. I have 3 separate brooding stations here in the garage, and with the amount of chicks that we have coming, I will probably be using all 3. This largest brooder here is our favorite. This is actually simply a shipping crate that my husband was able to get from work. You might ask around and see if you can get a hold of shipping crates like this, because they really do come in handy here on the farm. All in all, this one here is 4 feet by 6 feet, and it really comes in handy for raising chicks because it's a lot of square footage without being so much square footage that you end up losing heat too much. Once we get these all cleaned out though, I'll dive into how you get ready to raise chicks, whether it's 250 chicks or, 5, like a normal person. I had every intention of cleaning this all out last fall, but like every other project around here, if it's not a priority, it tends to get put on the back burner. And unfortunately, the extra day that we all dream of having had never come up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to work here. Also, in case you're wondering, it really doesn't smell that bad until I start stirring it up. So it's not like we just let our garage smell horribly for the last 3 months. It hasn't been that bad. In fact, I keep forgetting about it, partly because it doesn't stink. But now that I'm moving around, not the best smell in the world. We do put all this to use as well. This will all go onto a manure pile and get spread on the garden this spring. Yeah, wheelbarrows don't drive very well in the snow. All right, I got the first one all cleaned out. I'm gonna go ahead and get the second one done. This one's actually a lot easier to clean out because of the concrete on the bottom. So now that the bulk of the mess is all out of there, I'm gonna show you how I sanitize the brooders and get them ready for very delicate, very vulnerable baby chicks. Once I have the bulk out of here, I'm going to go ahead and come in with a broom, get as much of the fine particle out of here as I can to get it ready for sanitization. So what's my secret for sanitizing this area? A little water and a little bleach. Nothing fancy. This mixture ends up being about 1 gallon of water and about 1/2 cup of bleach. Those numbers don't really matter too much because as long as you let things dry out thoroughly before you put pine shavings on, it's not going to be a safety risk to the chickens. I don't recommend using pure bleach. You do want to dilute it a little bit, but don't stress about the numbers. Again, this was 1 gallon to 1/2 cup of bleach. And go ahead and dump this in here. Really may not even use all of it. And I'm going to use my broom to spread it around. I'm purposely trying to get the walls here, just because if you've ever had chickens, you know they like to jump up. Once I'm satisfied, then I'm going to get it all out of here and sweep it out to the driveway. Gonna let that dry thoroughly and then I'll show you guys the next steps. All right, so now before our chickens get here, we're going to go ahead and get these brooders ready. We're going to get some pine shavings in. It is incredibly cold right now in Indiana. And so normally I put about 2 inches of pine shavings. I'm going to really lean more towards 3 to 4 inches this time, just so that bedding can help retain as much heat as possible from the heat lamps. We're gonna get these all set up, really highly insulated, with 2 heat lamps per area. So we'll go ahead and get this started. I like to leave one area a little bit lighter on the shavings so that I can put the water there and they're less likely to kick as many pine shavings up into the water. It's still gonna happen, but as long as it's not too deep, it doesn't happen as much. Go ahead and do this in the other brooder as well, and then we'll start getting everything set up. So one of the benefits of this design was that it had a lot of ventilation, but in the winter that actually becomes a bit of a burden. And so I'm gonna actually block off the ventilation with some extra insulation here. Do what?
This one's a little bit shorter. We'll see if this one fits. How high you want that up?
I mean, that should be fine. It needs to be relatively low. So one of my safety loops when it comes to heat lamps, because they are genuinely very dangerous, is I will actually tie a knot in the cord closer to the light itself, so that if it's gonna fall, it's only gonna fall 3 or 4 inches and not land on the very flammable pine shavings. All right, so this brooder's all set up. This again is about a 4 foot by 6 foot space, and so 2 heat lamps should be plenty. And it's got plenty of pine shavings as well, but this one's all set. I'm gonna go ahead and get the other one ready. Okay, we'll get these 2 hung up in here. We might mess around with the angle just a little bit. We will actually turn these on tomorrow morning before we go to work, and that way the area will have plenty of time to warm up before the chicks even get here. We are shipping these in from Mount Healthy, which is only about an hour from here, and they'll arrive at the post office tomorrow, hopefully, and have somebody pick them up for us at about 2 or 3, just so they don't have to wait in the post office quite so long. And then we will get them into here hopefully by early afternoon tomorrow. Again, in a hopefully all the way ready to go brooder that'll be nice and warm for them, because it is very cold right now. It's about 20 degrees outside right now, but our low last night was like -3 Fahrenheit. So this is as cold as it gets here in Indiana. All right, I'm gonna go get waters and feeders all sanitized and ready to go for the birds. We've got our chick feed on hand. Gonna add a little bit of chick boost in each water, and then it'll be chick time tomorrow. Can't wait. Here's the general setup, and so we've got feed a little bit off to the side, water a little off to the side. That'll give them plenty of room then to be either under the heat or not under the heat, depending on what they want. Whole thing will be enclosed once I get the door on here. That way it can build up heat and get to that 95 to 100 degrees that these babies need. And then here's a look at the other one. So we are all set, ready to go, and we'll be picking up chicks this afternoon. All right, they're here. They're looking great. They're nice and spread out. That's what you want to see. They're staying under the heat, but you have a lot of activity, a lot of movement. They're drinking the water, and they obviously found the food already. So really, really looking healthy. We had 250 chicks come, and we actually only lost 1 in transit. So that's a really good rate for us. But I mean, how cute are these guys? And then here's the other batch. Also looking really healthy. It's nice and warm in here, which is great. We have plenty of water. We'll obviously fill those up later tonight, but they're looking great as well. Really happy with this batch. All right, these sweetie pies are now, I scared them. These sweetie pies are now about 4 or 5 days old. They're doing really, really well. For the sake of transparency, we did lose 5 birds, but out of 250, that's really not too bad. These guys especially are very lively. And then here's the other brooder. We're gonna probably space the birds out just a little differently in the next couple weeks, but they're really looking great. And I'll talk about the game plan here in just a second. So our birds are now about 5 days old. They've really fared very well this first week, and really happy overall with the quality of this batch of chicks. Very happy, healthy, lively bunch, which is always what you want to see in this stage. We have some bitter, bitter cold coming our way the next couple of days, but so far, even with the cold that we've had, they've really done very well. This setup is working really well right now, so happy with how this batch is doing. We ordered a very large number this year simply because we cannot keep up with egg demand. And on top of that, we have really quite a few hens that are getting to the end of their laying age. So in general, we ordered, again, 250 production laying hens, all different varieties. I'm pretty sure I have about 100 that are either Golden Comet or ISA Brown. 100 production blues, and then I have 25 brown leghorns and 25 Easter eggers, just because we really do like having the fun of those green and blue eggs every now and then. Our customers really enjoy it, and the ones we have now have started slowing down a little bit. In general, this batch should be laying eggs for us by about June or July. The game plan is we'll keep them in these brooders for about 3 or 4 weeks. And then here in the garage, we're gonna end up setting up kind of a temporary brooder where we still have a heat lamp on them, but they'll be on a tarp in here and able to spread their wings a little bit and kind of learn how to be chickens. We'll probably keep them in here until they're about 8 to 10 weeks old, get them out on grass at that point, let them acclimate to the colder weather by themselves. Then we'll start the introduction process of getting them integrated with the other birds. The nice thing about having so many birds is actually there's a much lower risk of them getting picked on, as opposed to if I had added just one chicken to a flock, that bird would almost be guaranteed to get picked on. When you add this many at once, in fact, this is more than we have outside at the moment. We've only got about 150 birds that are adults. So adding in 250 crazy teenagers shouldn't really make for them being very vulnerable. In general, they'll probably acclimate very quickly. That's the plan at least. So for now, just gonna keep these little guys alive and healthy. They're looking great. Love these babies. Absolutely my favorite part of the year when it comes to chickens. We're gonna keep them fluffy and warm and raise them up. We'll probably show you guys a little bit of that process as we go along as well. For now though, I've got babies to take care of. This was Courtney from Ruby Red Farm. Make sure to hit like and subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day.